Good morning, dear children. A bowl of rice. A bowl of rice is a moral science chapter. You remember I gave you 2 pages of the reading for reading the chapter. I hope you have read the chapter. Now today I'll be explaining you the chapter, and along with that I'll be giving you the exercises pages. So you will practice the exercises on the basis of the explanation done today, and then in the next class we can discuss. If your answers are right and correct, well, not an issue. If it has some issue, you can correct it. Okay. Now, a bowl of rice is about compassion. What is compassion now? What is this word? Now, we all have compassion. Everyone have compassion. When you see a weak and sick beggar on the street, whenever you see someone asking for money or food on the street, what do you feel? Do you feel that why he is suffering, why she is suffering, you want to rush and give something to them? Or you just make fun of them? Compassion is a feeling. Compassion is a feeling in us of sympathy towards the sorrow and misfortune of others. For a very small example, if I give you that, suppose your friend has not brought a lunch box, or anyone in the class, either your friend or someone just a classmate of you, have not brought his or her lunch. What you do? You just, either the teacher asks you, otherwise on your own also many times you just take a part of your lunch and you share with them. That feeling of sharing is also a part of your compassion. Why? You felt bad that why that child will be hungry for the whole day, so you wanted to share your food. Thinking about others, wanting to help them, and even feeling bad if someone is hurt, and also feeling how can we lessen the sorrow or burden of the other person is a kind of a feeling of compassion only. Now let's read the chapter. A king used to travel in disguise to learn directly about the condition of his countrymen. That means people living in his kingdom. To learn about their condition, a king used to be. Now see, I tell you children that these words mark in red color, in a different color. You will all find the meaning of these words in the further over here, making it simple. Okay, like sympathy, feeling of pity for someone, sorrow, feeling of extreme sadness. So you will find it. Okay, disguise, change in appearance or hide. That means the king used to change his look and then used to travel in his area or in his kingdom to find how the people live. Directly about the condition of his countrymen, he would be accompanied by the ministers in disguise. One day the king wanted to know how kind and compassionate the people of the kingdom were. So he and his minister disguised themselves as beggar and went to the nearby village. Now they wanted to test how much compassionate they all are. They reached a rich merchant's house and raised the bowl and begged for alms. The rich merchant came out of the house and said, I have nothing to give you. My store caught fire yesterday and my stock of grains was destroyed. Destroyed means completely finished. I cannot afford to lose more. Now the king in the form of beggar went to the merchant, a very rich merchant, and asked, I want something. So he said, no, I don't have anything to give you. My whole stock of food is empty. It has caught fire. Now I have nothing for you and I won't be able to give you. Okay. So now hearing this, the king and his men felt sad. Now they felt very bad that the person is so rich but still not giving. They moved to another house which was owned by a priest. Priest means someone, a holy person. The priest bought a handful of grains and gave it to the beggar. He said, I am a poor priest. I have a family of 6 to feed. Hope this will do you some good. Now you cannot afford to give someone a lot of things, but at least you can give something. Maybe someone needs 50 rupees. You cannot give 50 rupees. But if you give 1 rupees also, then the need will be fulfilled up till one level. And then later on more people will help and he or she will be able to reach that 50 rupees. So it is not that you need to help completely, but whatever part you can help, you need to help. Okay. Now the king and his men then moved to a third house. They went to a third house. This was the house of a poor farmer. That means a very poor farmer. That year there was no rain and the farmer had suffered huge losses. Now king knew that this year there is no rain and all the farmers have suffered losses. When he saw the beggar, he came out of his hut. The farmer came out of his hut and gave them a large bowl of rice. He gave them a big bowl of rice. With folded hands, he said, "Oh brother, please accept this bowl of rice. My wife cooked this for lunch today. But you and your fellow men look hungry and starved. Please eat this humble meal while I bring some water for you." Now he was such a great at heart. Like you all do now, you all eat a part of yours and then give it to your friend. Similarly, what he has done, whatever lunch was prepared at home for them, he said, okay, we don't need it. We are eating it every day. But I think you need it more. So let me give you it first. The king was touched with the compassion of the poor farmer. Now it was the poor farmer's compassion to help others. He called him to his court the next day and rewarded him with gold coins, rewarded him with coins which were 10 times the weight of the rice. Now, see, when you help some or the other way, you receive it, but we should never have the intention to receive it back. The farmer didn't knew that the beggar is the king and he is going to give him back something, but still he gave whatever he had to eat. And end of the day, the next day king called the farmer and gave him the coins of gold, 10 times more of weight of the rice. He had offered to them, disguised as beggar. Now, when he was as a beggar, then understanding him as a beggar, the farmer helped him and the king rewarded him for the compassion. Now you can see, I am reading the moral of the story, you will write it. We must help the weak, sick. This is the moral of the story of this chapter. We must help the weak, sick and poor, treating them as our brothers and sisters. Okay, and other than that, God loved those, this is the second line, God loved those, love the one who is kind and compassionate. So what we must be compassionate. Again read what is the moral of the story. I am not going to give you in return, you have to write it on your own. We must help the weak, sick and the poor, treating them as our brothers and sisters. God loved the one who is kind and compassionate. Okay, so you just go through the chapter, read it. Along with the chapters, there are some exercises of you tick what you have to do, what you have to don't do. Or if you want, you can write this also as the moral of the story. Either that or another, that be kind and compassionate to people around you, especially the weak, injured, old, sick and those suffering from misfortune. That earlier I told you is also the moral of the story. This is also the moral. Both the moral of the story, you can learn anyone, you can write anyone. Both are accepted. Okay. Now, these are the exercises of true and false, compassion feeling, then question and answers. But learn meanings, making it simple. You will learn. These are the all parts of it. Now, I've given you the attachments. Go through it. Try to do it. I say you are big enough, you are in the final years of the exams now, so try to do it on your own. If you find a difficulty, I'll give you the answers. Okay, so I hope so children, you will understand the chapter. Please, if any problem is there, read the chapter again. See you in the next class children. Bye.